A beautiful mountain home can hide some very expensive surprises. And after working with buyers here in the high country, I've learned something. The things that make a mountain property beautiful are sometimes the exact same things that can make it complicated. Private roads, wells, septic systems, steep driveways, mountain drainage, internet, insurance restrictions. And sometimes the view you fell in love with isn't actually guaranteed to stay that way. So before one of my clients buys a home, there are 5 big areas I want checked, and I'm going to show you exactly what they are. Because buying the house is only part of the decision. You also have to know what you're actually buying. 5 things I check before my clients buy a home. Number 1 is something buyers often don't think about until they're already in love with the house. How do you actually get to it? In the mountains, access matters. Is the road state maintained? If it's private, who maintains it? Is there a recorded road maintenance agreement? Are there annual road maintenance costs? And here's one of my favorite questions. What happens when it snows? Because a driveway that looks perfectly fine on a sunny afternoon in July can be a completely different animal in January. I want to know how steep the driveway is, whether 4-wheel drive could be necessary, whether emergency vehicles can reach the property, and whether a normal 2-wheel drive vehicle can comfortably get there year-round. This isn't about trying to scare buyers away from mountain property, quite the opposite. It's about making sure the property fits the way they actually intend to live. Because if your dream mountain home requires a 4-wheel drive truck just to get home after a snowstorm, that's something you want to know before you buy it. Number 2 is something that can be invisible when you're touring a beautiful home. The systems underneath it, especially water and septic. If the property uses a well, I want to know, how deep is the well? What does the well record show? How much water does it produce? When was the equipment installed, and has the water been tested? Because the water works and the water system has been properly evaluated are 2 very different things. Then there's septic. I want to see the septic permit. I want to know whether the septic system is appropriately sized for the home. Where is the drain field? How old is the system? What's the maintenance history? And has the system been properly inspected? These aren't glamorous questions. Nobody falls in love with a septic field. But these are exactly the kinds of things that can turn a great-looking purchase into a very expensive lesson. And that's why I want my buyers asking these questions during due diligence, not after closing. Number 3 is probably the one most buyers already expect, the condition of the house. But I don't want my clients stopping at a basic home inspection. The checklist I use looks at the bigger picture. Roof, foundation, crawl space, chimney, HVAC, moisture intrusion, radon, wood-destroying insects, and anything else the appropriate inspector or specialist identifies. And here's where experience matters. A mountain home has its own set of potential issues. Water movement, moisture, steep terrain, crawl spaces, older construction, retaining walls, drainage. You don't necessarily know what's happening just because the house looks perfect from the driveway. So my philosophy is simple. Don't inspect the paint, inspect the property. And if something needs a specialist, bring in the specialist. A home inspection isn't designed to eliminate every possible risk. It's designed to help you understand what you're buying. Number 4 is one of my favorites because it's where buyers sometimes discover that the property they thought they were buying isn't actually the property they thought they were buying. I'm talking about restrictions and future development. Before my clients buy, I want to know, what do the deed restrictions say? Is there an HOA? Are there short-term rental restrictions? Are RVs allowed? What about campers, livestock, home businesses, and what about the property next door? Because here's something many buyers don't realize. Your view belongs to you only if you actually own the land creating that view. If you're looking at a beautiful mountain ridge across the road or across another parcel, I want to know who owns it. Can it be developed? Can it be cleared? Could something eventually be built there? That's not being negative. That's doing your homework. The best time to discover a restriction or potential future development is before you buy, not after. And number 5 may be the most important one of all. Can you comfortably own this property, not just buy it? Because the purchase price is only one part of the equation. Before closing, I want buyers looking at insurance, property taxes, HOA fees, road maintenance, utilities, potential maintenance costs, and depending on the property, flood or other specialized insurance requirements. And I want my clients getting an insurance quote before closing, not after. Because if the property is difficult or expensive to insure, that's something you want to know while you still have options. The same thing applies to financing. Pre-approval is important, but understanding your actual closing costs, taxes, fees, and ongoing ownership costs is just as important. The goal isn't simply, can I afford to buy this house? The better question is, can I comfortably own this house? That's a much smarter question. So those are the 5 big things I want checked before my clients buy a home in the high country: access, water and septic, what's happening beneath and inside the house, restrictions and what could happen around the property, and finally, the real cost of owning it. And remember, these 5 categories aren't 5 questions. They're 5 groups of questions. My actual buyer checklist covers 17 areas and 99 individual items because mountain properties deserve a little more homework than simply falling in love with the view. I've made that checklist available completely free. You can get it at highchecklist-zk8qk88x.manus.space. And if you're thinking about buying a home, cabin, land, or investment property anywhere in the high country, that's a resource I'd recommend having before you start making decisions. I'm James the Realtor with Mountainscape Realty, helping buyers discover the high country of North Carolina, one mountain home, one market update, and one smart real estate decision at a time. Follow for weekly high country real estate tips, and I will see you on the mountain.